In today's news, it should be no surprise to you that XRP is in the prime position to explode in adoption and thus explode in value, as institutions have now just confirmed that the floodgates are opening. And due to Ripple's institutional partnerships, their money transmitter licenses, and their continuous developments, the inevitable market reversal and price surge for crypto, and especially XRP, is almost upon us. Now, one of the biggest advocates for this is none other than Jpmorgan, which I have showcased in my previous videos here and here. Their stance and belief that regulated stablecoins will gain significant market share, that regulated stablecoins have the potential to revise the monetary system and disrupt legacy systems like SWIFT, and that the stablecoin bill will be passed before the incoming election, so within the next 2 to 3 months. In this post here, we can see even further evidence of the floodgates opening, as we have already seen confirmation of the Democrat leader aiming to pass crypto legislation by the end of this year. That Russia's international cryptocurrency transactions and CBDCs starting by the end of this year. UK stablecoin legislation also by the end of this year. The fair market value of crypto to be revealed again by the end of this year. And then of course, you've got the EU stablecoin regulations, MiCA, to be fully implemented by the end of this year. There's a trend going on here. It's pretty evident to see what is incoming. There are even more institutionally important people that I'm going to showcase in this video who confirm the floodgates are about to open. But what I want to show you, really want to show you first right now, is once again how bullish Jpmorgan are on the incoming crypto space and some of their involvements with Ripple and XRP. Here we can see institutional staking is officially on the way, which is very big news. Anchorage Digital is the only federally chartered bank in the United States to offer staking, and Xrpl holders can stake through Anchorage Digital and collect rewards for securing the network. Now this is very big news for XRP due to their connection and partnership with Xrpl. And we can see in this post, one of Xrpl's use case is unlocking liquidity, and over $2 trillion of assets can be unlocked to participate in DeFi with Xrpl. So isn't it mighty convenient that Xrpl is enhancing DeFi on the XRP ledger? And furthermore, there is proof here that Xrpl is a part of the interoperability within Jpmorgan's Project Guardian. So Xrpl, who is enhancing DeFi on the XRP ledger, will be able to unlock over $2 trillion in liquidity while working alongside Jpmorgan from within their Project Guardian. This is huge news, and again just another piece of evidence to show you the connection Jpmorgan has to XRP, that Jpmorgan is a key piece to opening the floodgates and revealing the fair market price and true value of XRP. And it is for this reason why I am very bullish on this project. Knowledge is power, after all. It pays to be knowledgeable, and with some research you will be able to see as well the multiple other promising projects in this space that have the potential to make you significant gains for this incoming major bull cycle, which is why I just created a free Discord server where together, all of us right now are working together to increase our knowledge, to find the true money makers, the true crypto gems, to be a part of what will be the biggest wealth transfer in history. We are still growing rapidly already. We have over 225 members and counting, and we are all learning so much. So by all means, come and be a part of the family. The link to join will be in the description below. But now to circle back once again, it is with compliant regulations with institutions that will allow the likes of XRP to win and take over the DeFi sector. The imminent settlement deal and victory in the Ripple lawsuit versus the SEC and the RLUSD stablecoin is proof of Ripple's compliance. Not to mention the numerous money transmitter licenses that Ripple have attained over the years. These licenses from reputable regulatory bodies is a crucial step for Ripple to establish themselves as legitimate and trustworthy players in this industry, thus attracting more investors and increasing the adoption and value of XRP. And in this interview, we can hear Ripple's Rahul Advini list all the MTLs here. Take a listen.
Right now, regulation is at the state level. Right?
Yeah, state level, yeah.
So Ripple has about 40 money transfer licenses in the US.
State level.
At the state level, across the various states. We also have a BIT license in New York. We also have a trust license through Standard Custody, who we just acquired out of New York as well. At the same time, we're regulated in Singapore. We have a major payments institution license in Singapore. from the Monetary Authority of Singapore. We're also regulated in Ireland by the Central Bank of Ireland. We're on the VASP registry. So we're looking at, the universe of, regulators out there and which would be the appropriate fit for us. But the intent is to be a regulated stablecoin.
Okay.
So this is very big news, of course, and not just I have some more articles confirming increasing developments from regions and institutions who have offered Ripple MTLs, but there also seems to be more MTLs coming from Ripple as well, which is even more bullish. The likes of Singapore here, their largest bank, will for the first time ever custody stablecoin reserves and offer related cash management services in collaboration with the local arm of crypto issuer Paxos Trust. Furthermore, Bitstamp announces a partnership with Stripe to support fiat to crypto on-ramp in Europe, which is very big news for Ripple as they own stake in Bitstamp. But then the icing on the cake is that Robinhood will soon list Xrp as they have entered into an agreement to acquire Bitstamp, the company that Ripple owns stake in the first half of 2025. Listen closely.
Big news for Bitstamp back in June. That's when we learned that Robinhood entered into an agreement to acquire the global crypto exchange. Robinhood says the move will significantly accelerate its crypto business expansion worldwide as Bitstamp holds more than 50 active licenses and registrations around the world. What do you think about this acquisition? What does it mean for Bitstamp? And what will change for Bitstamp US once the deal closes, which is expected to happen in the first half of next year, according to Robinhood?
Well, as you may expect, I can't comment on an active and ongoing transaction, other than to say, we're very, very excited about the possibilities and what it could mean for the industry. This pretty historic combination.
Remember that Bitstamp holds more than 50 active licenses and registrations all around the world. So once again, it is compliant regulations with institutions that will allow XRP to take over the space. That is what Jpmorgan stated that they want and they need. That's what institutions say they want and they need. And Ripple are already taking action before the cycle to make sure all of this happens. And yes, again, this is what the institutions are confirming that is happening. The floodgates are now opening. As we can see in this interview, Thomas Cohen, ex-Xrpl rep and former employee of the Federal Reserve, states here in this interview, take a listen.
And I think we also have to really credit the industry as a whole in terms of how much better the user experience, how much better the technology, and how much better the underlying applications that we all use in this space have improved since the previous cycle. And so I think that's really one of the bigger differences here is just thinking back to 2020, the different apps we use on the DeFi side or on the institutional side, it's just very different. It's much more user-friendly and much more likely to make it easier for people to make the jump from TradFi to crypto. I also think that the regulatory side has begun to shift. I mean, as an American, it's pretty easy. I mean, I'm in Frankfurt here for many reasons, but one of which is we've seen so much capital flow to the EU because of MiCA and because of the power of it, and finally being able to be given rules of the road in a way that on the other side of the Atlantic, we're very much still deciding and in the discussion phase of creating the regulations that make sense for this industry. So it's very clear that while we have a long way, that progress is very much happening. And we see that as a large indication of the direction that we see this going. So that's all really what makes this year different from previous cycles. And I think it's important to note that I don't mean to indicate that from here, it's all up and to the right. I mean, anyone who's been in the space long enough knows that it'll go down again. But what's important is that when things are going up, we go 2 steps forward because we know that eventually we'll also go 1 step back.
Furthermore, Rodney Hood, chairman of the National Credit Union Administration, clearly states and confirms in this interview that US credit unions and banks are currently able to engage in digital asset activities, so regulations, crypto asset activities with US banks are also on the way.
Because I want there to be a seamless experience. I think one of the questions you're asking about what some of the questions are, many of the credit unions still want to know, do they have our imprimatur at NCUA to embrace fintech technology? Do they have our imprimatur to embrace blockchain, distributed ledger technology, and even engaging in digital assets? And the answer to that is a resounding yes. They have our imprimatur. We've not had to give a rulemaking because our statutes, our legislation and regulations, they currently now allow them to engage in those activities. But as they would with any activity, do it prudently legitimately and pragmatically, are you going through the appropriate due diligence? We as an agency, we were one of the few agencies that really did tell our regulated entities that you are more than welcome when it came to digital assets and blockchain. We gave them supervisory guidance telling them, look at it as they would with any third party. So we're looking at, are you doing the appropriate vetting, the vendor due diligence? Are you looking at a lot of the other things that you would do if you were really embarking upon any other relationship? And I know our peer regulators have taken a different stance where they're saying, well, we're not going to tell you can do it. You need to ask us for permission, right. and we will give you a letter saying we're not denying it. But that type of regulatory uncertainty and regulatory vacuum is what we're trying to prevent at the agency. So I think many of our regulated entities will say that we've been very forthright, been very forward, and I'm very proud that all three board members are so in unison and wanting to embrace the technology. I mean, I really had really great joy when I was able to get all of their support in creating the new office and moving forward with some of the other ideas with the new FinTech director position. So I think the one thing that I hope comes loudly and clearly from our conversation today is that we do not want to stand in your way, provided you're going through the appropriate due diligence as you would with any third-party vendor, as you would engage with any partnership. I think you need to measure the complexity, measure the risk as you would with any activity.
And then we cannot forget that recently, the Federal Reserve and the Bank of Canada, both of which are known to be very closely tied to Ripple partners, are currently having its 2024 summer workshop on money, banking, payments, and finance this week. Absolutely massive news. They are starting to educate themselves about the importance of crypto and blockchain and what is incoming for the new monetary system, what's coming with stablecoins as well, which is proof that crypto is not dead and that real world assets like XRP are about to explode, unlocking $2 trillion in DeFi. XRP is the chosen one. And that is why now more so than ever before, it is imperative that you need to do your own research, or better still, come chill chat and learn much more in the free Discord server, again linked below. And remember, don't look short term, think long term. And I'll see you in the next one.